Was the wrong button. Hello, hello everyone. I actually wanted to start the animation first, but I clicked the wrong button, so here we are already. And hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Till. I'm one of the founders of DGNFOG, and today is another Tuesday, which means that we are doing our weekly community update, reviewing what happened in the past week, what is coming this week, and answering questions if you have any. So, well, let's let's kick this off with the November event that has started last week. If you haven't read about it, if you haven't seen it, we have started in collaboration with John Four from roleplayingtips.com a little November event where we are giving you prompts every 5 days. We're releasing more prompts that you can follow along. I think they're great questions, great source of inspiration for you to create your perfect dungeon. And to show you what I'm talking about, let me quickly switch screens. Here you go. Hi Varunasi, hi Libitian. Nice to see you here. I'm talking about the member event that is currently being hosted at DGNFOG in collaboration with John Four from roleplayingtips.com. So for those of you who do not know who John Four is, he is he's a very, very talented game master, and he has a lot of great advice for us game masters out there. And one of those things that he introduced was his interpretation on what he's calling the 5-room dungeon. And I personally love the concept of a 5-room dungeon. Yes, dog? So apologies if you hear barking in the background. That is Zeus, our 12 weeks old golden retriever puppy who is discovering his voice. And John Ford developed the 5-room dungeon concept, which is a great way to quickly identify 5 interesting areas or story concepts to create an engaging dungeon for your players. And we took those 5 rooms and broke them down into 6 prompts with 5 questions each. So every 5 days you're getting another selection of prompts. As you can see, we're currently in slide number 2. And if you've missed the first one, if you scroll down, by the way, here's the link. Let me copy that for you. Well, yeah, it scares the heck out of me. And now he's eating my green screen. Give me a second. No, 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 don't do that. Puppies. Okay. So what you can see here is you can see the different prompts that we're showing on November. By the way, if you think this is a very confusing presentation I'm doing, I agree, but it is really hard to concentrate and focus while the little Terminator is destroying everything behind me. So prompt number 1 was all about choosing the theme for your dungeon. There were 5 questions that should spark your inspiration to get a good idea of what the dungeon is all about. Prompt collection number 2 is about the first room of the 5-room dungeon concept from John 4, and that is the entrance and guardian. So questions there would be who's guarding the dungeon entrance, or respectively, why has no one else plundered this place before your party arrived here? And there are then different ways how you can react to that, and this is exactly what November is about, to prompt your inspiration. So are there any additional obstacles hindering access? How do you set the tone of the dungeon through your first room design? So as you can see, we're also trying to prompt, and I'm really proud that John was on board with adding those prompts that perfectly fit with the DGNFOG concept, with the online battle map editor. So it also sparks ways to ask yourself, how am I going to design the whole thing? Twice. Um, can your party leave the dungeon at will? I think that's a very cool question. I actually never really thought about that when designing a dungeon. But it creates a completely different atmosphere if you can't exit the way that you came in. Or in other words, if you can't just go out, long rest, and go back in. And last prompt is then write a short read aloud describing the first impressions your players get when entering. So what do they hear, smell, feel, see when entering your place, whatever it is? We're going to release more of them over the whole November. So if you think they are cool, if you like them, go to the link that I've posted. It's Mapvember 2021 at DGNFOG.com, and you will find all those prompts there. If you are following that, I've seen that some already have shared maps following the prompts. You can share them on social media, or you can share them in our public library using the hashtag Mapvember21, and we will collect them and we will review them at the end of the month. We will have a look at what did you create. So this is what we've launched last week, Mapvember, and this whole event is going to be available throughout the whole November. And then, of course, you can still find everything in our archives afterwards. Yes, Zeus is certainly living up to his namesake. Now it's a little bit weird to call such a tiny little pooper Zeus. That's why he actually has a lot of nicknames here. I think my most favorite one is from my daughter, which is Zäuschen Kabäuschen. And one day he might be a 40-kilogram dog that actually lives to the name Zeus. Right now he's a Susie. Well, I'm pretty sure you will come up with great nicknames. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't like that one? Okay, I will never call you Susie again. Right. Are there any questions regarding the Mapvember event? Do you want to know anything more specific about that? I highly recommend getting there is a book from John 4. He published a whole kind of compendium about the 5-room dungeon, the concepts behind that, the way that you can combine those rooms. Like you can make them in a succession, or you can make them split ways. There are different narrative story points that you can use to create a 5-room dungeon. If you want to know more about that, check out his website. And when you sign up to his newsletter, you automatically get the book for free, the PDF for free. Oh my God, that's a lot of weight for a dog. I'm just sorry, I got distracted by Lord God. Yeah. Well, okay, maybe. Oh, come on, dog. Twice. This is madness. Question. The maps you posted the past week, are they made with the Paths tool? Oh, okay. Panic in my face. Yeah, it's like the green screen might be coming off. So, no. The maps I've posted, you saw them, very cool, are actually, I'm currently building maps for my new campaign. I am working like the devil on new maps and new concepts and new story for the next office campaign that I'm running. Because, sorry, because we're going to end Tomb of Annihilations this week for Group 1 and next week for Group 2. And then we're going to go into a homebrew campaign that I'm running. And I started making maps for them. And I decided that when I do maps, I should do them in a way that you can benefit from them quite a lot. So this is work in progress. I will talk about what I did with those maps specifically in the next couple of weeks. But if you clone them, those are first experiments. But if you clone them, you will see that I have used room templates and prop templates in there to kind of create tile sets where you can easily combine them. Which means when I'm finished, I'm going to share them through the public library and through Discord. And you can grab them and you can easily convert all those maps into, or all those segments on the map, into your own personal map templates, which should actually allow you to create a forest scene or a cave scene or a cliff scene in minutes, because all you need to do is you need to click together those tile bits and pieces. However, I know how redundant that is because the paths tool is in the making. However, I need those maps soon and I don't want to wait for the paths tool. And so I started that process and I'm going to share that with you later. And if you want to see my first steps into that direction, just go to the public library, search for the maps that I recently shared, and you will see that they already are going into that direction. Thank you. Yes, it was a lot of fun. So it was a lot of fun making those cliffs. It wasn't actually that time intense because the props work for themselves. However, it was painful to make it and know that in a few weeks the paths tool will be available, and I made the whole map, well, useless, because then I can basically throw away my cliffs and redraw them with the paths tool. So it was I had a lot of fun. I spent quite some time on those maps, just because I wanted to have everything as cool as possible. But the good thing about the whole process was, at the end, I didn't only create those maps for my campaign and created templates for you. I also created style sheets for Tony so that we know what and how should the paths tools look like. And I've also created some other things that are going to be very helpful next year when it comes to internal planning of other things that we want to do with, with the room, especially with the rooms tool. So it wasn't just, let's say, for fun and for my campaign. It was actually quite productive to do that and collect all the outcome for my team to work with that in the future. And he's biting my finger. I'm being chewed up here because I try to keep the dog calm while I'm talking to you, which means I'm sacrificing my hand for you. So that was a question. Yes, so that's all about the book. And I'm going to post more maps in the next couple of days. Right. Coming up next, oh no, let's stay with this week for now. So this week we are finally releasing the asset service. Again, this is not going to impact you directly, but hopefully you're going to experience a much, and I mean, like, we're currently, the loading times are in somewhere around 5 to 8 seconds. We're talking about 2 seconds of loading times for assets and faster, depending on how your connection is to your nearest CDN server. We're going to release them finally this week. I can tell you, it's a lot of hectic going on in the backend at the moment, because for Jonas, who wrote the asset service, this is his first big, and it's a major tool. It basically controls all the assets and everything that you use when you call textures, when you call tokens, when you call assets, when you're using the GM nodes, when you're using obviously the editor or the campaign mode. All of those assets are now distributed through the tool that Jonas has written. So he's really nervous. If you want to send him some motivational love through Discord, feel free to do so, because I think he's pretty stressed at the moment, but he did a great job, and we're just going through the final testing, making sure that everything works, fixing here and there a few bugs. So, knock on wood, if everything goes as planned, we are going to release it tomorrow. No pressure, right? If I lost a finger. If everything goes as planned, we are going to release it tomorrow. Yes, we are releasing it tomorrow. Okay, give me a second. Come here. Ah. And if not, and we find some minor things, hopefully no major things anymore, because they should have all been sorted out by now, it might be a delay of a day. It doesn't really impact you that much, so there might be a slight downtime, which means that we are going to do a release somewhere around noon our time. So for the Americans, it's not going to be a problem at all. For the Europeans, there might be a small delay of, we're talking about minutes, where the service is unavailable or slow. But apart from that, you shouldn't experience anything. And of course, through Discord and social media, we will let you know once it is done. Yes, we will. Yes. Take your toy, my friend. Here, take this one. Oh my god. The joy of a puppy. Okay, so this is happening tomorrow or Thursday. We're definitely not going to do it on Friday. But we will make sure that you will be notified, and I'm pretty sure you will notice the second that it has been released by just the sheer loading time. So following that, I have already started working with Forgotten Adventures and Keora on making sure that they have access and they can start uploading all their assets and get used to the tool and work their way into using we're calling it FogMS, which is the fog management system. So that we are ready to release it's part of the FogMS is the marketplace integration, and we're not doing it both on the same day. So the marketplace integration will most likely not be like that. Artists can publish more assets. That will not happen this week. Given that they have sent us some feedback from their testing, we are most likely going to address that next week and the week after. So by the end of November, I'm pretty sure that the marketplace will be released as well. And with that, then also the Patreon integration. But you shouldn't put all of your fog in the same basket. You mean we shouldn't call it FogMS? We should call it the... Well, how should we call it then? It's Content Asset Service, Asset Management Service, AMS. Well, that sounds like that's how the Austrian work service is called. Right in time for holiday shopping. Yeah, probably. So that's what's going on here. In regards to the Paths tool, we've been talking about the Paths tool today a little bit. Andy has finally, now with ticking all his tasks for the asset service integration, ticking them as done, he has finally started switching back to the Paths tool. And this week he will officially focus and start working on the Paths tool exclusively, so that we can make more progress in that regard. And again, it's hard to do an estimate on the release yet, but I would say if it is we were hoping for mid-November, which is not going to happen. But maybe it's late November or early December when we're going to release it. Tony, our artist, is also he's pretty stressed at the moment. He's working on a secret project that we're going to show to you next week. But he's also working on the asset pack from October. Yes, the asset pack from October, because he had some private issues where he said he needs to take some time off. So he wasn't able to do the asset pack for October on time. So he's going to finish them. He's also going to finish the November asset pack, and he's also preparing a few other things that we're going to give to you in the next couple of weeks, together with the Paths tool. So also much love to Tony. He's currently Dergerks. Maybe we will see next week. And send him some love, because I know that he is he's stressed out. He's just drawing day and night at the moment. Which brings me to next week. Next week we're going to celebrate our anniversary. It is I have really hard times figuring out what anniversary it is. So it's the 4th anniversary when it comes to when did we start the whole thing internally. Almost the 5th. But it's the 3rd anniversary if we go by official launch of the online battle map editor, because the online battle map editor was launched in 2018 by the end of October. And so we're celebrating, let's say we're celebrating our 3rd anniversary. Trigger X. Oh, sorry, I misread. We're celebrating our 3rd anniversary next week. And I hope you all will be there, because we're using our Tuesday, our Community Tuesday, to do well, a little presentation of what surprises do we have in store for you, and just generally celebrating with the team that we are now 3 years old. So make sure that you stick around next week. It's Tuesday, 7 p.m. UTC, and we will have a little show for you. Checking my list. What else is on my list? Did I miss something? Well, questions. If you have any questions, any Dungeon Fog related questions, let me know. I know that I'm currently really bad with my mapping it out Thursdays. Sorry, welcome to the Madness Thursdays. My apologies. It's really hard at the moment with general family time, things that have shifted here at home. In I have to do. I have to take care of my daughter Thursday evenings. Also, this little bugger here is quite demanding, so it's really hard to predict if a Thursday is a good Thursday to do something or not. So please excuse if the welcome to the Madness streams on Thursdays are rather irregular at the moment. Please, dog, let me talk. So, hello everyone. Bo Gibbs said, I've missed so much. I have been on a military boat for the last 3 months. Lots I need to catch up on. Well, I will do my best over the next couple of community streams to bring you back up to speed. Varanasi is asking a question, not Dungeon Fog related, but can you tell us what your next office campaign is going to be about? Yes, I can. But first, if any of my players is watching, get out now. Okay, so the next campaign is going to be a homebrewed campaign, because I for the past couple of years, I wasn't, as a game master, I wasn't feeling confident enough to completely run a homebrew storyline. Um, However, I was pretty disappointed with I was in love with Curse of Strahd. That was an amazing campaign. I was pretty disappointed with Tombs of Annihilation. So I said, okay, no more gambling. The only one I want to blame for the next campaign, if it sucks, is myself. Um, and so I went and I'm using the world of Wildmount for the, let's call it, world template. Um, but the story that takes place there is completely written by myself, and it is all about. It's a level 4 to level 20 campaign, so I want to really bring my players to level 20 and possibly beyond. Um, and it is about exploring the continent, learning about the factions there, learning about the people there, and learning about something terrible that is happening on the continent and is, if the players don't stop it, is going to cause a lot of mayhem there. Um, I did a lot of stuff homebrew there. I was having so much fun that when I started writing the whole story, I created my own experience point system. We're using Kibble's crafting guide, and I've modified it a little bit. Um, what else are we homebrewing? Oh, so many things I can't remember. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm blanking at the moment. There's I had a lot of fun prepping it. I had a lot of fun writing the storylines. I worked with so I asked Guys Clanders on advice, and he basically helped me to get off my railroady nature and make it a little bit more exploration wide and open. So I'm using a lot of the Ogre system that he suggested, and the way that we're putting, or I'm putting, plot hooks, or let's call them story points, advanced story advancement into the game is detached from specific locations or specific person or things like that. It's more like it's event triggers that bring the story forward. I'm very much looking forward to it. Um, and I'm also very much looking forward to the Project Deus release that is coming up, I think next week, if I'm correct, because then we will have blueprints, which means then I can finally create my own version of Wildmount as a world map. So let me get back to here. I've been take your time. You gotta check if it's best done. Question: did I miss any words on Asset Manager? Well, Alex, the Asset Manager is being released tomorrow, ideally, or at least by the end of the week. So that is happening. If I leave now, that's to turn me into a player. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm looking forward to doing my Welcome to the Madness with you guys if I ever find the time, because I think it would be quite interesting to get your feedback and your just to hear what you think about the way I prep the campaign, about the way I've organized things, and of course how I created those maps. I think it would be quite cool to see what I'm doing here and get your input on that. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, when Zeus is getting a little bit calmer, and my whole family chaos is a little bit more sorted out again, um I will have time to do that with you. Yes, today indeed is a bones day. Interesting. Oh, I prefer plot spikes that players can fall in the plot spikes. Yeah. Um, Give us blueprints. Yes, I will. I will. Here, take them now. Blueprints again. These blueprints are coming very soon. Like I believe that the internal calendar. I can't remember right now, but I believe the internal calendar was saying something around the 15th. So that would be next week. Varanasi is working on building a campaign setting for themselves, so it's great to peek behind other curtains. Yes, it is. I actually spent the weekend building like the ultimate loot table for myself and shopping lists, so I can press a button and I get shopping lists. And I'm more than happy to share that with you once it is a little bit more battle proven. Is there a map inception feature planned to only work with platforms like World Anvil? Um, no. So the if the question is that going to be only World Anvil, then the answer is we're going to start with World Anvil because Dimmy and Janet are close friends and we're working closely together. We already have a first API to World Anvil that is currently dragging information from World Anvil into our GM nodes. Once we're done with all the things we want to do for the end of the year, Andy will then have a look at how we can push maps into World Anvil. But we're building that as a kind of, it's not going to be a public API, but it's going to be an API that projects who are interested in integrating maps can actually call to get the maps. So this is not World Anvil exclusive. However, since World Anvil is our partner and they're our close friends, it is definitely going to be a World Anvil first. Okay. Yeah. In terms of what can we do this year, what is still on our table, what are we trying to finish? Especially talking about the online map editor. Of course, the paths tool is the next thing Andy is going to work on. And ideally, if we can work it in before the Christmas holidays and the year change, there is also the new asset, the prop library. We have a concept for that, utilizing that's my finger. Utilizing the text system that the asset service has integrated. This is hopefully, so once the paths tool is ready, this is the next thing that Andy will do. And depending on how fast we are, this will be released for you this year or early next year. And that's like, if we look at, we're getting close to mid-November, time is flying by, and we had so many things on our roadmap that we wanted to do this year that got delayed, shifted back, switched. I think we did a lot of good stuff this year, but for next year, we know that we have to plan for more leeway in terms of what are we putting on the roadmap. I know that there is a big plan for version 6 for next year, and we're going to address that definitely because we need that version 6 to be ready for the days integration of Battlemap Editor. But what else can we do? Like I'm pretty sure the stairs will be tackled with the paths tool, but the adjustable doors and windows, for example, they are still a thing that are haunting us, and we know that we want to tackle them. So they are going to find their way on the roadmap next year, but I don't know when and where. The meeting for that will take place, as always, in January, when we're kind of closing down the last year and we're reviewing everything and see what we can do for next year. Oh, by the way, since December is coming up, and December is usually the time where we are calling for the community asset votes. So if you want to, dog, you're so rude. If you, let me quickly bring that up. Yes, it's, he's getting so crazy in the evening. So, come on, get in here. If you go to dungeonfog.com/suggestions, yes, the battle map editor version 6 is on the horizon. And Alexander, I saw your question. Sorry, I saw your question. I will come to that in a second. So we are, every year we're calling the community to vote on assets that they are missing. Which means that if you go to dungeonfog.com/suggestions, you can suggest assets there. And by mid-December, so early December, we will start the call for it officially. But since you're here, I can already tell you. Let me quickly let the dog out. I think we're going to have a puddle here soon. But since I already have you here, this is the place where we're going to collect your suggestions, and you can vote on things that people have already suggested. So it's textures and assets. It's not features. But there is a category for that. If you want to suggest something, do it there. Because for the end of the year, we want to give you another amazing community pack with more assets. Give me your souls. No, it's not a soul collector, it's a suggestion collector. I'm not the Atropol that my players are going to fight this Friday. So, coming to your question, do you plan for the path tool to support Bézier spline curves at some point, or will it strictly be a straight line corner style with the drawing tool? No, it is going to be. It's not going to be Bézier. I know that there was a different term for that I can't think of, but it is editable, which means you can go touch each point and adjust the points and move them and shift them to rearrange the pathway itself. We did purposefully decide against the Bézier drawing mechanic because it is quite annoying if you have a lot of points to really adjust all of them when there are better ways for a paths tool, for a tool that is designed to do the things that our paths tool can do. So that's a reason why we didn't do Bézier. But there is a way to adjust the points directly. All right. I'm through with my list. So this is the awkward 5 minutes where Till is sitting there looking at the chat and waiting for more questions before I'm going to end the stream. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to clean up afterwards because I just let Suze out of the room, but not out of the building. And I'm not sure where my family is at the moment. So I might be puddle cleaning in a minute. Did I miss any questions? Let me see. Question, did I miss? Da 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 da. Nope, I did not. Well, guys, if you don't have any more questions, then I say thank you as always for staying with me. We're not going. We will see. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see each other this Thursday because again, it's a little bit tricky at the moment for me. Maybe Bodhi is running another, or maybe Forecaster is running another Welcome to the Madness stream instead of me. We will see. I can only say thank you very much for being there. As always, have a great morning, noon, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And as always, happy map making, guys. Thank you. Bye.